Really hot.
Sweaty.
Quite hard.
Wet.
Tough.
Hard work.
6 a.m. starts weren't the ideal.
Did some digging and then slept.
Welcome to Soulton Hall. We're back for another year of digging. Last year we found evidence that suggested we'd found a tiny castle, but this year the archaeology is telling a slightly different story. We've also been joined by a group of archaeology students who are helping us to unravel the mystery of this medieval moated structure. Let's go and catch up with them to find out how they've been getting on, what they've been discovering, and most importantly, do they still like archaeology after 3 weeks in the field? So Rufus, we're here at Trench 7, which we have reopened after also digging here last year. I understand we didn't quite get to the bottom, but along the way we found lots of lovely artefacts that have helped us generally with dating of the site. We found a little silver penny of Edward I and some religious material, ampullars and pilgrim badges, and even more excitingly and completely unexpectedly, we found some structures which related to what looks like a moat bridge. Can you get us up to speed with what you've been doing this year?
So first off, we started with opening up the section that we did last year, so digging out all that infill, and then we widened the section around it as well in order to try and get a context around the moat bridge. But the main thrust of what we're doing is trying to reach the bottom of the moat, which is, I don't think we did that last year, and also keeping our eyes peeled for some finds along the way. So I think someone found a pendant, and we also found this belt buckle here.
Lovely. So these kind of artefacts really help us to pin some dates on the different layers of activity that are going on. Super. So I mentioned the moat bridge there. So we've kind of had big timber beams, and over in the trench on the other side, they've been pulling out some really cool stuff, leather shoe and some seeds and nuts that have been preserved. Have we got anything like that going on over here?
Yeah, so underlying the wall, we have, I think it's part of the moat bridge, a large beam of wood, which I think we've partially exposed, but we're not exposing all of it yet, because as soon as it gets exposed to air, it starts to degrade.
Well, Ben says you're an excellent matker and he's keen to have you back, so I will let you go.
Thank you.
So Jess,
Hi Jodie.
what have we got going on in this trench?
Well, this is Trench 10, and so far we've, for 2 weeks, hacked out all the soil, subsoil, topsoil. Now we're getting down into some really annoying clay, which over 2 weeks has still even got rid of. And we're slowly going down, hoping to find the bottom of the moat, maybe a retaining wall at the back, and just seeing what's in here.
Super. So we know we've got the moat and the moat bridge on the other side. So the idea is on this side, we're comparing it,
We're
finding the
looking
bottom of the
for
moat.
more of a structure, see if there's any more structures, a wall going round maybe, see if there's anything from the top of the mound that's come down, just having a look inside.
Right, so the idea is that if we've got a structure on the top of the mound and we know it's been demolished, we might be catching some of that rubble
Some
and
of
that
the
stuff
work
coming
stones
down.
and things that just come off the mound.
Amazing. And you mentioned that we've been finding bits of worked wood in here. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, so we've got some wood sticking out the section, some worked wood, so like maybe from a knife or something to get it into shape to be put there. We don't know if it's here deliberately, as it might have been washed up, but the fact that it's worked is very exciting for us as archaeologists.
Yeah, because it's quite rare, right? We wouldn't usually have the conditions to preserve that material.
We have to have those perfect anaerobic conditions to make sure everything's surviving and staying in there. So like earlier we found a shoe, like a leather shoe bottom, which we wouldn't have found unless it was in these conditions, which is really exciting. And now, to preserve it, it's in a bag in the fridge to make sure it's in water, and then they can carbon-14 date it? Yes, so we'll also do that to some seeds and shells.
Yeah.
Is it like acorn shells that we found in there as well, to get an accurate date of when this moat was used, essentially, and see what's fallen in it over time.
Amazing. And so if we get down to the very bottom of it, hopefully we can find some of those dates, and it will tell us maybe when it was first constructed and then how long it was in use for.
Yeah, and then also, as the whole trench, we've also found some 1950s breeze blocks and things, which, as an archaeologist, it's a bit disappointing, but also it's always exciting to find stuff as well.
Yeah, we've got to treat all archaeology equally, I suppose, even if it's from the 50s.
Exactly.
Yeah, super. Hi, Kat.
Hi, Jodie.
Hi. So we're on the top of the mound. And I understand you've been working here in Trench 9.
Yeah.
What have you been discovering?
Yeah, so when I got here, we'd recently discovered some post holes. There was a darker area of soil, and that suggested that there might have been something. And more recently, we found some rubble over here, kind of suggesting that there might have been a structure up on this mound. And recently we've been finding a lot of rusty iron nails. So there's definitely a sense that there could have been a structure on top of this mound.
Super. So we've got some of the finds here. Looks like you've been pulling lots of stuff out of the ground. Lots of bits of pot.
Yeah.
Some bits of slag, is it?
Yeah, I think that's slag.
Yeah. It doesn't look like we're quite finding yet these kind of big footprints of buildings or foundations or anything, so it looks like we're just kind of dealing with all of this quite rubbly kind of ephemeral stuff. It's not super easy to see, is it?
Yeah, it's not really clear cut, and there is a theory that the mound was originally a bit taller and it got sort of chopped, the top was chopped off to make it flatter and a bit larger.
Which is inconvenient for us because it means there's not a huge amount for us to find, I'm guessing.
Yeah, there's still a lot of different bits and bobs around here, and it's interesting to have a look what we can find.
Thanks, Kat. I'll let you carry on.
Thanks.
Yeah. Normal speaking by normal people. We nailed it. So there we have it. As our dig at Soulton Hall comes to an end, we get to head home armed with loads more information about what's going on at this enigmatic site. We've also heard from our students who have been with us over the course of this 3-week field school, and they've told us all about how they've got on and what they've learned. And lastly, most importantly, we want to know, would they do it again?
I would. In fact, I'm planning on having a career in archaeology.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely.
Definitely, that's the plan.
Yes, it feels quite rewarding when you finish a day of digging.
Oh, I'm planning on coming back next year.